Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men. Real men. Men are risk takers by nature. We take chances. We go after what we want. We'll climb mountains, fight battles, even go broke chasing dreams. But there's one thing that makes a man risk everything. And that's a woman who makes him feel like he's got something truly worth fighting for. Ladies and gentlemen, men are natural protectors, providers, and conquerors. It's in our nature to chase, to build, to fight for something worth having. But let me tell you this, a man will only risk everything for a woman who makes him feel deeply valued, not admired just for what he does, but appreciated for who he is. See, when a man feels that kind of value, something inside him changes. He stops playing games. He stops looking around and he starts locking in. You can't make a man risk everything through pressure or control. You do it through the power of peace, appreciation, and respect. Because no man can resist a woman who makes him feel seen, heard, and needed. Every man wants to be a hero in someone's eyes. It's built into our DNA. We want to be the man you can depend on, the one you can trust to show up when it counts. But the problem is, too many women today think being strong means not needing a man. And listen, I understand where that comes from. Independence is beautiful, but what most don't realize is that a man doesn't need you to depend on him for survival. He just needs to feel that you trust him to lead, that you value his effort, even when he's not perfect. That little bit of respect is like fuel to a man's spirit. When a man feels respected, he'll walk through fire to protect you. He'll go against the world to make sure you're good. That's what makes him risk it all. Not your beauty, not your attitude, but the way you make him feel like a man. See, ladies, when a man meets a woman who believes in him, she becomes his peace. You can't imagine what that means to a man who's out there every day fighting battles the world doesn't see. The pressure to perform, to provide, to protect, is heavy. And when he comes home to a woman who reminds him that he's enough, who appreciates his effort, who says, I'm proud of you, that man will never forget her, because that kind of peace is rare. The world doesn't give him peace. His job doesn't give him peace. But when you do, you become his safe place. You become his purpose. When a man feels valued, he becomes fearless. You ever seen a man light up because the woman beside him believes in his dream? That's power. That belief gives him the strength to take risks, to go after more, to push harder. Because suddenly it's not just about him anymore, it's about you too. It's about protecting what he's building with you. And the more peace and confidence you bring into his life, the more he's willing to put on the line. You can inspire a man to be the best version of himself just by standing beside him the right way. You don't have to fix him, change him, or challenge him to prove himself. Just remind him that he already is the man he's trying to become. And don't get it twisted, valuing a man doesn't mean losing yourself. The most powerful women are the ones who know their worth and still know how to make a man feel needed. It's a balance between strength and softness. It's not submission, it's connection. When you know who you are and you let a man lead in his own way, he feels safe to love you with everything he's got because he knows he won't lose himself in the process. He'll become more of who he's meant to be. That's the kind of woman a man risks everything for. Not the loudest one in the room, not the one trying to prove she doesn't need him, but the one whose quiet confidence makes you feel lucky just to have her. When a man feels truly valued, he'll stop running from love and start protecting it. He'll plan the future. He'll sacrifice. He'll choose you over and over because the peace he gets from you is greater than any thrill he could ever chase elsewhere. That's when you know you've touched his soul. When he looks at you and sees not just a woman, but his reason to fight, his reason to grow, his reason to stay. That's how you make a man risk everything for you. Not by demanding love, but by creating an energy so valuable, he never dare lose it. That is the energy. The secret to making a man risk everything for you is not about how beautiful you are, how loud you can talk, or how much attention you demand. It's about one thing: emotional safety. A man will only go all in when he feels safe with you, when he feels that he can trust you with his heart, his dreams, his fears, and not be judged for it. Men are not as complicated as people think. We act strong, we look tough, but deep down, we just want a woman who makes us feel at peace. When a man feels emotionally safe with a woman, that's when he starts opening up. That's when he shows the side of himself that nobody else gets to see. And that's when he's willing to risk everything just to keep that connection alive. You see, ladies, men move toward what feels safe and away from what feels chaotic. When a woman gives a man that emotional calm, she becomes his anchor. The world can be falling apart, but if he knows he can come home to peace, he'll protect that peace with everything in him. That kind of emotional safety doesn't come from talking or nagging. It comes from how you make him feel in your presence. It's the tone in your voice when you speak to him. It's how you handle conflict. It's how you react when he fails. When a man knows that his mistakes won't turn into weapons used against him, he starts to trust you on a level that changes him. And when a man feels that kind of trust, he becomes loyal. He becomes consistent. He becomes invested. Most men spend their lives trying to be understood, but few ever are. When you become that woman who truly listens, who doesn't cut him off, who lets him feel heard, you become unforgettable. You don't have to fix him, you just have to understand him. That's emotional safety. You create a space where he can breathe, and once a man finds that, he'll move mountains to protect it, because emotional safety is something the world doesn't give him. Out there, he has to be strong, he has to hold it together, but with you, he wants to be human, he wants to be vulnerable, he wants to feel like he can just be himself without being criticized. That's the place where love grows. Now, I'll tell you the truth. Men can love a lot of women, but they'll only risk it all for the one who gives them peace. He'll respect the one who listens. He'll value the one who doesn't embarrass him when he's wrong. He'll honor the one who supports him when he's trying, because emotional safety makes a man feel capable. It makes him feel powerful when he knows he can fail in front of you and you still see him as your man. That's when he decides, this is my woman. You become his motivation, his comfort, and his safe space all at once. And when a man feels that, he doesn't play games. He doesn't leave you wondering. He invests, he plans, he builds a future, because he knows that no amount of temptation or distraction could ever replace that feeling of being safe and loved just as he is. Ladies, understand this: emotional safety Doesn't mean you have to tolerate everything. It means you communicate with grace. You hold him accountable, but with love. You let him know that he can be honest with you without fear. That right there is power. Because when a man knows you'll handle his truth with care, he'll give you more truth, and the more truth he gives, the deeper your bond grows. He'll open up, he'll trust you, and eventually he'll risk everything to protect that connection. That's when you become his peace in a world full of noise. So when you think about what makes a man stay, what makes him give his all, don't focus on control or perfection. Focus on peace. Focus on emotional safety. Because once a man feels emotionally secure with you, he'll do anything, and I mean anything, to keep you in his life. Men are driven by something powerful, the desire to feel alive. They chase after the things that spark something inside them, that give them a reason to wake up and fight again. But let me tell you this, a man will risk everything for what makes him feel controlled. He'll risk it all for what makes him feel inspired. See, when a man feels alive with a woman, when her energy brings him peace and excitement all at once, he'll go to the ends of the earth to keep her. Men don't want to be owned, they want to be chosen. They don't want to be caged, they want to feel free. Free to love, free to lead, free to give without feeling forced. And when a woman understands that balance, she becomes the kind of woman that no man ever walks away from. When a man feels like he's being told what to do, how to feel, and who to be, something in him shuts down. He starts to pull away, not because he doesn't care, but because he's losing the sense of freedom that makes him feel like a man. But when he's around a woman who lets him breathe, who lets him move in his own rhythm, who doesn't try to control his every step, that's when he feels alive again. And that feeling, that's addictive. That's what makes him want to risk his pride, his comfort, even his fears, just to be near her. Because a woman who gives him freedom while still showing love gives him something no one else does, the space to be himself. Ladies, men fall hardest for the women who make them feel capable, not the ones who constantly question them. When you show a man that you trust his judgment, that you respect his decisions, even when they aren't perfect, you give him strength. And that strength makes him want to rise to the level of the respect you're giving him. See, men love a challenge, but not the kind of challenge that drains their spirit. They love the challenge of keeping a woman who brings peace into their chaos. That kind of challenge pushes them to become better, not out of fear of losing her, but out of gratitude for having her. When you become that calm in his storm, he'll start protecting you like his most valuable treasure. Here's the truth. Men don't want to feel like they're walking on eggshells in their own relationship. They don't want to feel like they have to earn love every single day through perfection. A real man wants to feel that his effort, even when flawed, is seen and appreciated. When he feels that from you, he doesn't hide, he doesn't run, he starts giving more, doing more, becoming more. Because now he's chasing that feeling of being truly alive. And that feeling comes from how you make him feel about himself. You don't have to constantly remind him of what he's doing wrong. You just have to remind him of who he can be. When you understand that a man's spirit thrives on freedom and appreciation, not control and criticism, you unlock his loyalty. Because when he's with you, he doesn't feel trapped. He feels trusted. That's what men crave deep down. They want to be with a woman who lets them lead but still walks beside them with confidence. You give a man that, and he'll risk everything to keep it. He'll protect that bond, defend it, and honor it, because what he's found in you can't be replaced. It can only be cherished. Men chase what makes them feel alive, and nothing makes a man feel more alive than a woman who lets him be himself, who loves him through his flaws, who trusts his effort even when it's not perfect. That's the kind of woman who awakens his best self. That's the kind of woman he'll fight for, sacrifice for, and never let go. Because in her, he doesn't just find love, he finds freedom, peace, and purpose all at once. And that's worth risking everything for. A man's heart doesn't open because of pressure, demands, or expectations. It opens when he meets a woman who inspires him, not with her words, but with her presence, her energy, her calm confidence. The right woman doesn't chase love, she inspires it. She doesn't beg for attention. She earns it effortlessly through the way she carries herself. When a woman is at peace with who she is, she becomes magnetic. Her confidence, her grace, and her quiet strength pull a man in without her ever having to force it. See, ladies, when a man feels that kind of energy from you, he'll do things he's never done before. He'll take risks. He'll open up. He'll invest because you've given him something priceless: inspiration. Men are inspired by how you make them feel about themselves. When he looks at you and sees peace, not pressure, he feels safe to be vulnerable. When he sees confidence, not insecurity, he feels proud to stand beside you. You don't have to constantly remind a man to do right when he's with the right kind of woman, because she makes him want to do right. She awakens something in him that no other woman could. She doesn't drain his spirit, she feeds it. She doesn't bring chaos, she brings calm. And that calm becomes addictive to a man who's been out in the world fighting battles every single day. When he finds that peace in you, he'll risk everything to protect it. Now, ladies, the mistake many make is thinking that the louder you speak, the more a man will listen. But real influence comes from energy, not volume. The woman who can stay calm in moments of tension, who doesn't lose her cool every time something goes wrong, that woman has power because she controls the atmosphere around her. Men don't stay where they're constantly fighting for peace. They stay where peace already exists. The right woman doesn't have to prove her worth. She knows her worth. She doesn't chase validation because she already carries it within her. And that self-assurance is what makes a man want to rise to her level. He sees her as rare, as someone who doesn't need him but still chooses him. And that's what makes her irresistible. You see, when a woman walks in confidence and peace, she inspires a man's loyalty. He feels proud to have her by his side. She doesn't belittle him. She builds him. She doesn't compete with him. She completes the energy around him. Her presence makes him want to be a better man, not because she demands it, but because her energy makes him believe he can. A man will always rise to the energy he feels most at home with. If you bring peace, he'll protect it. If you bring chaos, he'll avoid it. But if you inspire him, if you make him feel like the best version of himself, he'll never want to lose you, because you're not just a woman to him anymore. You become his motivation, his purpose, his peace. Because ladies, that's what true feminine power looks like. It's not loud, it's not forceful, and it's not desperate. It's graceful. It's that unshakable calm that says, I know who I am, and I don't need to chase what's already meant for me. That kind of energy makes a man risk everything, his pride, his comfort, his fears, just to keep you in his life. You don't have to tell him to love you. He'll show you that he does. You don't have to beg him to stay. He'll fight to never lose you. Because when a woman stands in her power with peace and purpose, she doesn't have to ask for love. She attracts it naturally. A woman who inspires love through her peace and confidence will always have a man's full heart. That's the kind of woman a man dreams about, the kind he protects, the kind he cherishes, because she doesn't change him by force. She changes him by presence. And that kind of love, that's worth every risk he's ever taken. A man will risk everything when he feels that being with you means he can win, not when he feels like he's constantly being tested or judged. Men don't stay where they feel like failures. They stay where they feel capable, trusted, and believed in. When a man feels like he's winning with you, it gives him purpose, it gives him drive, it makes him want to keep showing up. Because every time he's around you, he feels like a better version of himself. That's not manipulation. That's inspiration. You make him want to do right, not because you force it, but because he doesn't want to lose the peace you bring into his life. See, ladies, when you constantly test a man, question his love, or make him feel like he can't do anything right, you slowly take away his desire to try. Men thrive on progress, not perfection. When he feels like his effort is appreciated, even if it's not perfect, he'll double it. He'll keep trying, but when he feels like nothing he does is ever enough, he'll start to withdraw. That's when men pull back, not because they don't care, but because they feel like they can't win no matter what they do. But if you make him feel like his effort matters, if you show him that you see the good he's trying to do, he'll move mountains for you. A man's heart opens when he feels respected, not criticized. You can correct him without tearing him down. You can express your needs without destroying his confidence. The more you make him feel that he's capable of being the man you need, the more he'll invest in being that man. Because deep down, every man wants to win with his woman. He wants to know that the person beside him believes in him even when the world doesn't. And when he feels that from you, he'll risk everything to keep you. When a man feels that you're his teammate, not his opponent, you unlock his loyalty. He stops fighting against you and starts fighting for you. Because in his heart, he knows he's found someone who sees his effort, who believes in his vision, and who makes him feel like a winner in love. When a woman truly understands her worth and carries herself with grace, something powerful happens. She becomes irreplaceable in a man's life. Men can meet plenty of women, but the one who knows her value stands apart. She doesn't chase, she attracts. She doesn't beg for love, she embodies it. And when a man meets that kind of woman, he knows she's not like the rest. Her confidence, her calm, her self-respect make him see her differently. He starts thinking, I can't lose her. That thought alone makes him risk everything to keep her, because he knows finding another woman like that is nearly impossible. When you carry yourself like a queen, you teach a man how to treat you without ever saying a word. You don't have to demand respect when you already walk in it. You don't have to prove your value when it's written all over your presence. A woman who knows her worth doesn't settle for confusion, disrespect, or inconsistency. She moves with purpose, and that makes a man level up or step aside. The man who's serious will rise to meet her energy because he doesn't want to lose a woman who makes him feel proud just to stand beside her. That's the kind of woman who changes how a man thinks about love. See, when you carry yourself with grace, you bring peace into a man's life. You're not begging for attention, you're commanding respect. You don't need to scream to be heard. Your silence, your elegance, your energy speak louder than words. That's when a man starts realizing that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. And once he understands that, he'll protect that connection with everything he's got. A man will risk it all for the woman who shows him she's valuable, but still has a soft heart. She knows how to love deeply, but won't lose herself in the process. She knows how to give, but she also knows when to step back. That balance between confidence and kindness is magnetic. When a man feels that, he sees not just beauty, he sees strength, peace, and purpose. And that's when he decides she's worth every risk, every effort, and every ounce of his heart.